Large ghettos were established in cities such as Lublin, Kovno, and Lodz, where tens of thousands of Jews were taken to stay. The ghettos were the main connection to all of the mass murder. Even from the beginning, police forces would shoot Jewish men and shortly after Jewish women and children. As of September 1941, they had wiped out entire Jewish communities. Oh wait, I didn't see you there. While Jews were deported and taken to ghettos or camps, they didn't know how long they'd be in there. For sometimes, Jews were concentrated for very short periods before the first shootings were conducted. Mass killings happened very often before the rest of the Jewish population was concentrated in a ghetto. Many survivors worked for their families, and for them, the ghetto was the only place they had a chance of survival. But even if they had survived the massacres, they were never safe, for there were selections and more killings of the Jewish population, so every Jew was in constant fear. October 23rd, 2022. Keep your eye on the moon.
Run.
In 1939, Jewish people in parts of Poland that were controlled by the Nazis were forced into ghettos, which were certain areas in towns where the people were separated from the rest of their population. Jewish people were allowed to keep almost nothing of their possessions. However, most families were allowed to stick together with more than one family per apartment. In Warsaw, while everything was happening, Jewish resident Chaim Kaplan wrote in his diary, "We have entered into a new life, and it is impossible to imagine the panic that has arisen in the Jewish quarter. Not to mention in the ghetto. Right now, there are people deported being on welfare. People are in a state of panic, and this hunger, a struggle against death for starvation. Life is terrible, living conditions are abominable, and there is no food." A large portion of information on Jewish resistance were focused on the larger ghettos such as Warsaw and Białystok, even though there were resistances in many of the smaller ghettos that are not as famous as the larger ghettos. Once the underground groups gained information that the Nazis were not just oppressing the Jewish people, but they were planning to completely erase the Jewish race as their final plan, they resorted to armed resistance. When the decision of the final solution, the plan to murder all European Jews, was made in the late 1941, the Germans planned out and destroyed the ghettos. Germans would shoot ghetto residents near graves or deport them. Jewish people would be deported to killing centers, and a small minority of Jews would be deported to forced labor camps and concentration camps. Jews had to suffer through much just because of the establishment of the ghettos.